Hello everyone, and welcome to my first August set review for the Summer Wave. Today we'll be covering something a bit less typical, because we don't normally see so many LEGO City sets on this channel. However, this is an exception, that being the train station here, looking magnificent as ever. This is set 60335, ready for ages 7 and up. Of course, being called the train station here with 907 pieces. You get this lovely little blue bus here. You get yourself a utility cart, which I believe for the first time has both rail and off-rail capabilities, which is absolutely fantastic. You've got yourself on and off ramps for this here station, which is also very nice. You do get a lot of advertising for the fresh grocery store, and what is it? It's the little cart there that you can get. I'm assuming that's for food farmers markets there. You get yourself the farmers market cart, both which kind of get some advertising here in the set through the various fresh logos here. And of course you do get a nice little bit of a train station platform here for all your passengers, as well as a little cafe and ticket booth so that you can get yourself your tickets and your coffee there at once. Very lovely little design with the new blue coloring that they've been using for the hospital and now this and a few other builds. And really, realistically, this is a very nice set that I do recommend. If you're into trains, do pick it up. Now, aside from all the boatload of minifigures that you do get here, you do get a little bit of a scenario here where you do have yourself a little bit of that ticket booth here. You do get a little bit of a glimpse into the cafe. You do get the little subtracting and retracting there of the little train wheels that go on the little vehicle. I am referring to the right side, and also a glimpse as to the station with the bus and the little crossroads there as well. Now, of course, in the center here, we do have on the top the little bus taking in some new passengers, but also another glimpse of the station. Lost cat poster over here, which we will get to later, but just a very nice station here with a lot of room to fit all of your various little people that you might need, and also a lot of good space. So realistically, if you need a really big station, it is going to set you back $100, but I think at that price point, you do get a lot of value here with a train station. So let's move on to the people in this set. I felt that it would be important to kind of mention this, as I did make a bit of a fuss about it in a short, that the instruction booklets are quite different now, having the build in the center that's being built with the bag numbers on the side, with a bit of Lego greeveling here with some bricks, and also this lighter blue color for the set. This is for the city. However, for Star Wars, it looks like it's going to be white throughout. So pretty interesting there for the instruction booklets onto the set. Now up first, we do have here the Station Master as depicted on the little box art here. They do have a little bit of a name tag, which makes sense, and a bit more of a formal suit type attire in this lovely blue color, with a bit of a yellow tie and then a lighter blue undershirt there, with some darker blue pants which match, or navy blue, could be navy blue, with the same coloration for the hat there, which does have the hair sticking out at the back, which is a bit more ginger coloration, I presume. Now, they do have a bit more of a smiley expression, unlike some other minifigures, but this is LEGO City, where most people are just overly happy, which is not an accurate depiction of real life, but hey, this is LEGO. We also do have them holding a bit of a directional current there, so they can kind of direct the flow of a bit of a traffic either on the station or in the streets, just so that they don't kind of overwhelm the station. Either way, they have a nice little accessory there, which some of the other figures do not have. On the back, they do lose that stern expression and go into something that's a bit more explosively joyous. Now, they do have a lot less detailing on the back, of course, as is quite typical with most minifigures, where they just have a bit of indentation on the little back of the suit there. Nothing too special, but you do also get that ponytail on the hair, which is off to the side a bit now. On to our next figure. Next up is going to be our bus driver here, who does have a bit more of an explosive facial expression, unlike our previous character, who was still a bit more stern on the front. This one is far happier, and does have a bit more flowiness in their hair, because it kind of just goes down and out, instead of out through the back. Now, they do have a vest instead of a suit like the other character. They do have some tickets and a name tag on there, with a bit of a light blue undershirt, which doesn't add up because we do have the white arms there, which is a bit of a mistake on LEGO's part, but It's not like they're going to fix that. So, bit unfortunate, but it doesn't detract too much from the character. It could just be an issue with the print where the undershirt looks a bit more blue than it should be, but they do have a bit more of a scarf-looking tie than anything, and the yellow is a bit more out there instead of being a lot more faded, but it is a lot darker than what you'd expect from the regular skin tone of a Lego City human there. Now, they do have black pants and nothing more about them, so let's see the back. Which is unfortunately nothing really to see because it does have, again, those clotheslines, which are pretty similar to the other person that we saw, except the collar has a bit more of that goldish yellow coloring and no underface, which is pretty unfortunate. But let's move on to our next figure. Our last station worker here, or just kind of in around the place, because we did go over the bus driver. However, we do have the cafe worker here, who does have a very set of flowing blonde hair there, with a bit of a beard there to kind of go along with their kind of almost like a smirk expression that they have. Must seem that they decently enjoy the life that they have here at the cafe. Or who knows, they might just be hiding their true feelings underneath that hair. But they do have a bit of an apron there, which does have a little bit of a pocket, or kind of like a towel on the side, which is indicated by that brown. They do have a bit of a front pocket there with that brown on this side of them, with a little bit of like almost like a belt strap there at the top to kind of show that this in fact is an apron, with a bit of just a standard white undershirt underneath, with some grayish blue kind of pants down at the bottom. They seem pretty alright. You know, a bit of a differency with the apron there, not too typical to see kind of this green uniform, but there is a lot more green kind of going around with the atmosphere of Lego City now, with the more greenish blue coloring, and also with the going for the fresh style kind of advertising all around for their grocery store lineup and kind of their farm setting. So everything kind of flows in with the sets that they're putting out and the color scheme. But on the back, they don't have a second agenda, but they do have a little bit of that continuation of the apron there where it kind of clips together on the back, and it looks like the brown parts kind of go around around the neck instead of going down kind of around the back strap, which is pretty interesting. On to our next figure though, which is going to be our utility worker here, happy as can be with their dark blue pants there, again with the navy coloring. A lot of blue in this set, but they do have themselves a vest there with a decent bit of what looks to be white on the camera, but is in fact silver there, along with their little pocket radio there that kind of attaches onto their uniform. The rest of it is an orangish yellow, which can be seen over there in the stripy pattern as can be typical, with a bit of a light blue kind of cyan turquoise undershirt there, with the dark gray gloves just so that they can work their business there. Now, they are pretty happy with themselves, you know, doing a good job on the workforce. They do have something different, which I was not expecting, but they do have an earpiece, so I believe that has not happened before in Lego City. There have been other sets that have had people with earpieces, but this is definitely a surprise for Lego City, because I know that in the Lego movie line, they did have some of the agents. They did have earpieces, and of course in Star Wars we have a lot of officers that do have earpieces, so to see it in City is definitely a rarity, however one that is not unwelcome. Now, they do have a little bit of detail on the back, whereas the rest, that little communication walkie-talkie, and a little bit of continuation of that uniform, but nothing else too special except for this very vibrant yellow hard hat, which looks great and matches the uniform quite well. Now, based on the last two figures here, I'm assuming this is going to be a mother-son relationship here for these two. However, they do have a little bit of a jumper here. Quite interesting. Reminds me of an ugly Christmas sweater, but here they do have a bit more of a fall theming to it, with the orange and yellow there, with the pattern of the diamond shape, which looks very good and kind of wholesome there, with the white undershirt. So it is more of a vest, but it does look good. The jeans there do have some pockets there for storage, and they have a little bit of shine to them through the little buttons, which aren't really too visible on camera, but they do have a little bit of a button there and a little bit of kind of the stitching showing through. Their face is a little bit displeased. Maybe they've been at the station because of delays, which is always unfortunate. people don't really like it when their public transportation is late, so it's pretty understandable that this person is quite upset. They do have some nice orange glasses though to match their aesthetic, which looks very good, and then they also have some darkish brown hair, which also looks pretty good. Taking off the headpiece, they have finally seen that their train is arriving on station, so they've kind of cheered up a little bit. Their back doesn't have too much detailing, aside from that same hexagonal pattern diamond pattern for their little sweater or jumper there, which also looks very good. Love to see a good jumper here or there. The last figure here is going to be the son here, who doesn't have the teen legs, they just have the regular child legs. They do have them in like a light blue, which is pretty interesting. Also, their spiral t-shirt, very nice there. It is a bit liney there with the pink and the yellow, but that looks really good. And then we also have the differentiating pink and yellow for the little sleeves there, which is just great to see a lot of detail on a minifigure that they really didn't have to put so much detail on. They are very happy because they've come here to see the trains, and oh boy, have they seen so many trains. Not the right one, like the mother wants, but a train is a train for this kid, and he wants to see them all. Now, they do have a bit of hair there. Nothing too special, a bit of a burnt blonde there, or kind of like a darker ginger. Pretty interesting. But unfortunately, they do have to go as their train has arrived. So unfortunately, although they will be riding on a train, they will not be able to experience seeing all the trains pull into the station. Now, they do have that pattern, again, of the swirl continuing, which is just absolutely fantastic and lovely. A very nice torso piece, which will go well with a lot of people's collections. So good to see something very special being added to the set, even though it is just a torso piece. But we still have a lot to cover, so the excitement is not over. Now, I do love a good bus, and this is no exception. This blue color, very nice with the bus here. It is a bit darker than some of the lighter blues that we have for the specific oceans. We do have a door button here that you can probably press to open these here doors, which is very nice, allowing you for some secondary access into the bus, which is nice. Would be nice to have a bit of an accessibility ramp for those like we do see on regular buses. However, that is not present here, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is a bit of a small bus, so it can make sense why they didn't do that. But the station itself is wheelchair accessible, which is very nice to see. Plus, with the new accessibility of the extra doors, the train station itself for the passenger train is wheelchair accessible, which is very nice to see. Unfortunate that the bus isn't, but it is still a very nice bus. We do get two ways of entry, like you'd expect from a regular bus, these double doors, and also the single door at the front, which is next to the operator seat, and also the payment pad there, where you can make your purchases. We do have the license plate, which is LP60335, which matches up with the set number there. We also do have the town center, that's where this bus is heading, which is pretty nice. It is number 43, just for a bit of extra identification. You do have quite a bit of seating there. You do have a total of 2 seats in the front behind the bus driver, and also a set of 4 seats in the back, which is pretty nice, and a decent amount of standing space for all of those extra customers that might be on the bus today. So a decent amount of space here with the bus. On the back, we do get, again, the fresh advertisement with the number 43 with some taillights, but also a bike rack, which is very handy indeed for a bicyclist here, which I believe is meant to be the cafe worker. They do also come with a blue helmet, which is very nice. You know, they do get themselves a little bit of a helmet, which is right there on the box, but also displayed as maybe the child, so I'm not too sure. Anyways, someone has a bike in this set, and they can very much hold it in many places. The bus is also easily accessible because you can just kind of take off the front part is a bit bad, but you do have these little bar pieces to kind of help take off the sides, and if you take off the sides, you can kind of just reach in and grab the middle section, which is very nice, and you have easy access to the interior, which allows you to place all of your various minifigures inside if you so please. Now, the bus has one main spot to go, and that's using the various crosswalk here so they can drive about. They can go crash into my Tatooine display over there. And then you can kind of close it behind them, kind of wait for your train to pass, and then open it up. It does work better if you have a bit of a more open space, which is probably what the set is recommended, because you do want a large space when you're building these tracks, so that you get the full value out of it. You can, of course, attach more road plates to this, so that you have more accessibility with all the fun stuff that you can do. But next up on our list, we have the little utility car. Now, this vehicle, of course, is operated by our little handyman here, but it does have a bit of an on-ramp here, which you are going to want to start by putting it here. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to two-handedly probably extend this front part out so that it connects, and then go back around and lie this one down there correctly so that it is riding along the rails here and not so much reliant on the wheels, which is probably what you want. Now, it does come with two accessories here, the broom and the shovel. The broom probably for cleaning the various pathways here. The shovel, not too sure. They also have a hammer and a wrench, kind of fix the lights or the sign as seen in the little preview video image, not video, on the box there. It can just glide around on the tracks, which is very nice. It isn't really going to break on you. I'm assuming that I need to push this one out one more so that the front wheel isn't touched, and it goes well. You can also attach this here little cart, which is fully track optimized and only built for the tracks there, and you can use this little bit of a hook to attach it on and kind of carry it about so that you can take your porta potty anywhere that you might need it. You know, someone might need the loo, and so there you go. It does have a bit of a light, which is pretty strange, a bit of an empty toilet paper roll, which is very unfortunate, and a bit of a present left behind by the previous user. So it is also a very nice porta potty design, I must say. It is pretty simple. I know that one of the other ones did have some bathroom signs on the side, but this top does round it out pretty nicely. The vehicle itself is pretty orange with the bit of the city logo on the side there for the railway system, which makes sense. This does fall off a little bit there if it gets derailed, which is pretty likely in some cases for the train, but in itself, this orange vehicle is pretty nice, having the license plate again there with some lights there to kind of show it its way. It does have a bit of a crane there, so you can extend it so that you can put your mechanic in here to kind of fix anything. It isn't going to be perfect because, of course, they can't always reach everything, but you can reach these lights and have them operate on them, so it's pretty good. And if anything, they can kind of just climb up here, go onto the little thing, and just kind of go off on the roof, potentially not fall through the windows there, but anything is possible with this station here. But we should probably get into the station itself. Now, the front of the station is pretty interesting, as it does have the ticket and cafe on both sides. However, the main point of view is probably going to be this here fresh bench and this ATM machine, along with this nice little wall art, which probably would show you where all the trains go, probably like a bit of a map area there for the city. We have some nice flowery bits here, and also a nice little tree with this blue bird here, and that bike rack, which we saw earlier. It's a very nice little station design here. Pretty simple, but you do have a lot of space for your various minifigures, so you could probably put about 20 or more here in just kind of the outer bits. And you can put a few on the bench and also a few inside, so you've definitely got more than enough storage on this station for all your station needs. From the back, it's nothing too special, but we do get an actual direct line for all the trains that might be passing through the area from this station, which is pretty nice. So this is probably just some wall art then. Still nice indeed. But here we have the entrance to the bit of the cafe, where we can see a bit of a croissant there waiting, and also the coffee maker there with a cup, with the other side having a bit of a ticket sales. So realistically, you can take them from both sides, sell tickets on that side and food on this side, or ticket and food on that side, and just have this as a bit of a pickup area. Who knows? You can really do it however you want, but we do have the little observatory here, which does have another mug, and it's not focusing, but we do also have some control panels there to kind of help the train operator just know that everything is fine, and then also activate any of these things that they might need to while they're up there. Pretty nice little station here. It's not too big where you're going to have trouble finding a spot for it, but it's also not too small where you're just not going to have a good station for your money. But you also do have the little missing cat poster, like I mentioned before. And realistically, this is a very fair-sized station and has a lot of good value there. You do get yourself a travel bus so you can get people from the station or to the station. And you also have a bit of repair so that people who are using the station can actually use the station because they can see during the night, or they can make sure that all their little information here for their train arrival is correct. So you do have yourself a self-supporting system. However, you are going to need a train for like the physical train element of it, which is a bit unfortunate, but it does make sense. But realistically, you can kind of just, if you just have this and can't get this and can't get yourself a train just yet, you can just use yourself this utility cart and kind of drive around this here little cart, and you can fit yourself 4 good characters on here. And you can kind of just fit them there. If you want a little bit more space, you can just take off this back bit, and you have a bit more space there now. So you can realistically have this without having a train, and you don't need to buy yourself a train just yet, because you have yourself this little cart, which can act as your little bit of a train wagon for your passengers, while you have this being your main train. So realistically, this is a self-sufficient set. It does make more sense to actually have a passenger train with this. But regardless, it is a very nice set, which offers you a lot of value and allows you to express all of the play features in this set without needing to go and buy extra sets, which is very nice that you can have this self-sufficiency in a $100 set, which is what you kind of want to see, where you want to be able to spend the $100, and if you want to play with the set, you can kind of self-sufficiently play without needing extra sets. And then if you buy extra sets, they kind of add extra value to the set that you already have, instead of needing to go out and buy those extra sets in order to fully realize all the playability value in a set, which is pretty nice. So I do highly recommend this set. For both adult collectors that might want themselves an extra train station for a little bit of a train build that they're working on, or for a kid that just wants to kind of have themselves a little bit of a train station, have a bit of fun, relax or unwind after a hard day of schooling, or just kind of so that they can kind of take their time away from like an electronic device. So I do highly recommend this set, and think that for the $100 that you're paying, you are getting a really good deal that is going to have a bounty of fun waiting for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye.